A lot of times I find when people make a workout space, they're getting into working out, they tend to make this big purchase of an elliptical or a stair stepper or a stationary bike or whatever. And those things are great if you're established in using them and you know that you enjoy using them and that you're going to use them for a long time. I like to stock my workout space with things that are a little bit more versatile and a little bit more portable. So you'll see that all of the equipment that I use actually fits into a corner that's about 3 feet by 3 feet. I am going to take you guys through what is the equipment that I stock my workout room with so that I know that I have everything I need to do cardio, strength training, work all the major muscle groups, etc. Okay. So you see I have a yoga ball here. This is actually something I purchased in college and I don't recommend because it's really big, it's bulky, and to be honest, I almost never use it. So if you love yoga balls, go for it, purchase one, but that is not in my must-haves. All right, what is my must-have equipment? Adjustable dumbbells. This is the one thing that I think everyone should have. Dumbbells are really, really expensive, particularly if you get up into the higher weights. So this particular dumbbell set I got on sale for $200, and it goes from 5 pounds all the way up to 55 pounds. So it's absolutely amazing. You can see it takes up almost no space, and you can work out pretty much any of the major muscle groups with these adjustable dumbbells. You can mimic any exercise that you would do on one of those big machines at the gym, and they're just a great tool. So another thing that I have here is my basket that's full of yoga mats and foam rollers. So yoga mats are awesome, just as a barrier between you and the ground. And they kind of just define your exercise space a little bit. Another thing that I have is a foam roller. So I literally got this at a garage sale for $5, and it's amazing. And it's a great way of de-stressing your connective tissue. So sometimes when we sit for long periods of time, or we do repetitive motions, or we have poor posture, we can end up with muscle tissue that develops knots or tension points. And foam rolling is a great way to release those. It's basically a way to give yourself a deep tissue massage. It's just a cylinder that's solid foam. There's really nothing special to it. There's a million different varieties of this online and even, at your local Wegmans. But these are awesome, and there's tons of YouTube videos about how to foam roll and release different parts of the body. So I think that this is a great investment because it doesn't take up a lot of space and most people need it. Okay. Over here, I have this one row of, just a single row of freestanding cubbies, and I'll take you through what I have in these different cubbies here. What I have just right on top is one of these balance boards. It's great for stability training, meaning that you can use it to work out not only your major muscle groups that are going to do the heavy lifting, but also all of those tiny stabilizing muscles that we almost never think about that help keep you from twisting your ankle when you're stepping off a curb or walking on uneven terrain. All the muscles that support your posture and just help keep your body functioning well in your day-to-day life. In my top cubby, I have a homemade TRX. So this is a suspension trainer. So you actually take this little block and you wedge it into the top of a door, and then it hangs, and you can use these 2 straps with handles on the end to do different body weight exercises. It's an amazing tool. A TRX costs about $70, and I probably made this for $15 based on a YouTube video that I watched a long time ago. So super easy to make, super easy to buy. They're great trainers and also great for working those stabilizing muscles that I was just talking about. I also have in my next cubby down some resistance bands. So this is another wonderful tool for strength training. Something that's great about resistance bands is that they're awesome if you have any type of dysfunction, injury, low back pain, etc., because they don't apply any tension until you apply tension to them. So if you have low back pain and you want to work out your chest, there's no way getting around that you're going to have to pick up these heavy dumbbells in order to get in position for whatever chest exercise you want to do. The benefit of resistance bands is that, like I said, they never apply tension or resistance until you apply it to the band. So in that way, they're a very low risk tool if you have an injury or you're worried about becoming injured. The other great thing about resistance bands is that they're obviously super light, super portable. So whenever I go on a trip or I'm going to be traveling, I always take a bunch of different resistance bands, roll them up, and put them in my suitcase. They're just amazing. One thing that I like to do is actually purchase a box of a single resistance band that is way longer than I need it to be, many, many yards. And then I cut it and tie it to make it into whatever shape I want. Sometimes I'll tie them into loops so I can put them around my knees and do different leg exercises. This one I've taken 2 bands and tied it into a knot, which I can wedge into the door and then use it to do pulling or pushing exercises with the band in a horizontal position. So these are awesome, just super versatile, and you can always add resistance by using 2 or 3 bands at one time, or by obviously purchasing a heavier resistance. Down here, I got some physical therapy stuff. So this is an old belt that I use to stretch, almost like a yoga band. I have some ankle weights, just things that I've needed for some physical therapy in the past. And then in the very bottom cubby here, I have floor sliders. I almost never use these, but they're kind of cool. They slide along the floor, so you can put your hands and feet on them and move them around. And it's a great core workout. So I have that. I have this pull-up bar, which is one of those pull-up bars that just sits in the door frame. And I love it because the one muscle group that it's kind of hard to work out with freestanding dumbbells is your lats. There's a couple ways to do it, but there's not a huge variety of exercises that are going to work out your lats with dumbbells. So I really like this pull-up bar because I can put it in the door frame. I can use my whole body weight, or if you're not at that stage yet, if a full pull-up is not in your current workout routine, you can do assisted pull-ups by standing on a chair, putting your knees on a yoga ball or something like that. And then the last thing I have, the very most important thing in this whole space, is a mirror. So this is just a cheap wall mirror that you could mount on a wall. I just lean it up against the wall, and this is the most important piece of equipment because it is needed to make sure that you're using proper form when you're working out. Injuries are very, very common to new exercisers, and it's really discouraging to have injuries happen when you're just getting into a new workout routine. Unfortunately, the brain is not very good at telling your body when you're using improper form. So I always tell people who are getting started with a workout program, research what is correct form for the exercises that you're doing, or do it with a partner who is well practiced in strength training, and then make sure that you have a mirror that you can look in 100% of the time while you're doing your exercises to give you some feedback on what your body's doing. So that is the full scope of what I have in my workout room. Like I said, what I use the most on a day-to-day basis is just a yoga mat and the free weights. So I hope that was helpful for kind of how to spice up your workout space and also what to put in it.